Welcome back to the Sanctuary and Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. Kruznik X, along with Lord Fyrax.
Oh, hello.
And Korlash.
Hello, from the end of the...
The last episode.
Sorry, Milliways.
Sorry. The feat of Repast has begun. We are tasked with the promises are tasked with the task of making a popular dish, Zebruk Pibil. We've learned what ingredients are needed and how to cook it. The only question is, will it come out good? We need to gather the materials anyway, so let's get right down to it by speaking to Kona and continuing with our quest, A History of Violin. Let us see if there are Najul leaves to be had in town. Perhaps the cook Urianger mentioned might be persuaded to spare us a few. This whole place is a freaking maze, though.
Yep.
There's the cheerful cook.
That's nice. Careful.
Oh, hello again. You need help? Did you need something? Najul leaves, for purposes other than Zebruk Pibil naturally. Unfortunately, I've just used up my last. I'll have to travel to the lower forest for more. Gomaji Grove is the source of the finest Najul leaves you'll find. Wild variants you sometimes see in city markets can't compare. I see. I had hoped to avoid such a lengthy venture, but there is no other way to obtain our ingredient, and to the Jatika heartland we shall go. Allow me to save you the trip. Traveling there requires that you go through Tynebeck Traverse. That's caved in, due to the recent storm, I expect. What? But that means we can't get on our shore leaves. But we can, can't we? If there were no other way of procuring them, you would have suspended this feat or else altered its objective. Perhaps. Anyway, I apologize for the interruption. But having overheard your conversation, I felt compelled to chime in. That's very kind of you. Any last-minute advice you'd be willing to share? Only to undertake the feat of repast with an empty stomach. You may find the Brook Pibil to be a delicious but daunting dish to finish. I can't wait. Still, if there are no leaves here and we can't travel for more, how are we supposed to gather all our ingredients? These feats are meant to deepen our understanding of the peoples and cultures of Tuliolal. So perhaps there is something about Zebruk Pibil that we have yet to learn. Something of significance other than its recipe or ingredient. Oh, I see. Like who was the first to make it? Its history, that sort of thing. Ahem. If it's Yaktel's history you're interested in, you should start with the old war. Between the Zabral and the Mamojari, right? These forests have borne witness to centuries of warfare, evidence of which remains a scar upon the earth. To know the end of that bloodshed is to know the Brook Pibil. Huh? What does steamed Ibrook have to do with bloodshed? Precisely the question we must answer. Vexing though such a detour may seem, I can think of no other way to approach this feat. In that case, you may wish to visit the site of a settlement ruined by the war, the village of Ilion Asso. It lies a short distance to the east. The village of Ilion Asso. Understood. Thank you for your help. Come, let's go and see this place. All right, Rubido, let's ride. I don't know where the fuck I'm going. Huh? Alright, now we're on the right path. The village of Ilion Asso must be further east. Let us continue with haste. For all we know, our competitors may be on our heels. So far, none of the creatures have been screwing with me.
That's good.
That's good, because that's my job.
Yeah. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hola.
How goes?
It will go better once all children are in bed.
There. Alright.
That generally improves situation.
Yeah.
How many of the children?
Only 2 of them are here currently. The oldest one is at church camp.
Oh, that's fun.
Alright.
Church camp.
It's Harry Potter. This week it's Harry Potter themed.
Ah.
So I have to say, like, compared to what I know some of my friends grew up with, Congregationalism is tame.
Yeah.
In the realm of Christianity.
They're having a Harry Potter themed party. It's definitely. Yeah.
Anywhoozy, let's speak with Wuklamat.
No.
Yes.
So this is the village of Ilion Asso. Or what's left of it. The place of light and life. My great-grandfather called it home, in fact. Okay, is this dude stalking us?
Probably.
Wukei-Wu! I didn't know you were in Yaktel.
But considering he probably originally came from
True.
probably the one coincidence.
I was picking up lumber from Ikbrox when I heard the third promise was on her way to this site of deep historical significance. I immediately saw another opportunity to be of service, so I followed you here. Wukei-Wu is a shipwright who came to our aid during the Feat of Reeds. A pleasure. You are a member of the Third Promise's retinue, I presume? For the moment, I suppose I am. My name is Kona. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Kona. Now that's a good name. A familiar name. Where have I heard? Kona! As in the second promise of Tuliolal? To think
No.
that I addressed the Dawn servant's old son as some common retainer! Such disrespect cannot be excused! Please, take up your gun and... Oh, come on, not this again!
This is his fetish. Yeah, I think this is a fetish for him.
I feel like it is, yeah. I mean, I'm not here to king shame, but seriously, what the fuck, my guy? Anyway, I take no offense, so please do not dwell on it. Alright then, I shan't dwell on it. And right on cue. At least he's consistent? I understand you wish to learn about Zebruk Pibil. While I am forbidden by the Zebrak Rocks to divulge any information regarding its preparation, I would be happy to share what I know of Yaktel's history. We'd appreciate that. In its most basic sense, the conflict between the Zebral and Mamuja was one of land. The Mamuja live in the lower forest, where the thick canopy obscures the sun and the soil is unforgiving to crops. This drove them to covet the upper forest, the home of the Zebral, and they launched a determined campaign to seize it for themselves. Yet advantage ever favors higher ground, and the Zebral forces held the upper hand against the invaders, rebuffing them time and time again. But as the state of this village would attest, the tide eventually turned. What brought it about? Something you know all too well. Blessed siblings. You must understand, the Mamujar were once a people as much at war with themselves as they were with others. The Hubigo, Bunewa, and Dopro each sought to assert dominance over the others, even as they engaged the Zebral in battle. In an effort to strengthen the bond and discourage infighting, Hubigo and Bunewa leaders arranged a marriage between their children. However, this political measure altered the course of history in ways no one could have ever imagined. It was long believed that partners of differing clans could not have children together. But then it happened. A child arrived who shared the blood of Hubigo and Bunewa both. A two-headed Mamuja. Blessed with tremendous physical strength and magical prowess, he grew into a mighty warrior before eventually arising as the first autarch, ruler of all three clans. Such qualities would dispose anyone to leadership, character notwithstanding. Under the autarch's rule, the newly united Mamuja became a force to be feared, and the war soon came to a head. I think it best you see the results firsthand. Let us visit another battlefield from that time, and there I shall continue the tale. Alright, what do we got for this one?
Things.
This is where most battles were fought between the Shabral and Mamulja, the Shobrit Cinderfield.
Ooh, there are several
field of
homes.
cinders, indeed. How fierce their clashes must have been.
The war over these lands began after the Yokui's departure some 500 years ago. And for 4 centuries thereafter,
That's
the
cool.
two enemies repaid violence with violence. A constant stream of minor skirmishes, punctuated by massive slaughter.
Until Father ended their endless conflict 80 years ago.
Accompanied by a retinue of only 6, the Dawn Servant opposed both armies and brought the fighting to a standstill.
First they sealed Valley Armanda at full strength, and now this.
It was during this armistice that both sides gathered for negotiations at the Dawn Servant's behest.
Oh, and now a flashback, courtesy of our Asian powers.
Not really Asian.
For too long, you have been bound by your ancestors' violent legacy. It is past time you broke free of it.
Tell that to the Scale Scum! We fight to protect what is rightfully ours. If not for their greed, we'd be living in peace.
Buff your tails and scurry off, then! Cowards like you ill-deserve the bounty of this forest.
Even should one of you succeed in vanquishing the other, your triumph will last only until a new invader arrives. Tell me, do you know of the vast continent that lies far to the east, where numerous nations vie for dominance?
I see an axe that looks familiar.
And why should you? Affairs
good.
beyond the salt we have no intention to cross are of no consequence to us. Not until those affairs come to Tural, like our honored visitor here.
So this is Ketanram.
He's from across the ocean.
I've been to the ocean before, and it's nothing but water farther than the eye can see. What sort of vessel could possibly reach its end?
That such technology exists is indisputable, as is foreign powers' awareness of Tural. If any such country were to develop a taste for Turali soil and bring to bear the might of innovations we can only imagine, what do you suppose happens then? You do not know the warlords of the East, but you know that if they came, they would not settle for a single forest. By joining hands, we might create a unified front. An alliance capable of repelling them or any other foe. There is no greater proof of this than my companions and I. Alone we are weak, but together we triumphed over Valigarmanda.
Nice.
What? You defeated the Sky Ruin? I'd take you for a liar if the sting of our own defeat wasn't still fresh.
Their coordination was indeed impressive. How the Pelu stymied our efforts to cripple the Yokui's legs and defend our ballistas.
Mm-hmm.
And when we withdrew to strike again from a distance, the Hanu called the winds to make our arrows miss their marks. In seeking to exploit their weaknesses, we only subjected ourselves to their strengths.
Those strengths are born of cooperation. The guiding principle of the nation we envision.
But our feud has lasted for centuries. How do you expect us to join hands now?
Ha ha! Give us an evening to convince you.
All right, before we continue, first the
And so began that legendary banquet.
All right, before we continue, I do want to say something regarding a comment that I believe Corlash made in regards to my earlier comment about the flashback courtesy of our Ascian powers.
The Ascians were more of a political party. I know what you mean.
Yeah, you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah, yeah, I'm well aware.
That's good, because I have no idea.
You know what? When you can see into the past periodically.
Oh, yeah, for the echo.
The echo, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Alright. Anyway, continuing.
That was me just being really pedantic.
Yeah.
One would not expect sworn enemies to abruptly drink to each other's health, and, indeed, a tense silence hung over the venue. But then, the Dawn servant called for the exchange of traditional cuisine. So it was that the Mamulja partook of spiced meat, and the Shabbat steamed nodule.
Alright, close the door, please.
Before long, delight manifested upon the faces of those present, each side impressed by the other's dish. Seeing this, the Dawn servant laughed and declared once more, their flavors, he said,
where do I go to
even
turn in
better
regional
combined.
folklore A
And he
tokens?
proceeded to help them prepare
Say
the new
what?
creation.
Regional folklore.
A tokens?
No,
Let me look.
tokens A.
Let me look that up.
Because I tried to look it up, but it's confusing.
Raiders token A. Boop. You can exchange them at any script exchange. Yes. Or wait, no. Frogger's Reach.
Oh.
Look for the Splendors vendor. Anyway, continuing with the cutscene.
That's Shibruk Pibil, I'd wager.
It is a marriage of Shabral and Mamulja cultures, and proof of their newfound cooperation. The Dawn servant had asked for a single evening, but the feasting is said to have lasted 3 days and 3 nights. So delicious was their repast. In the end, a peace accord was reached, and the Dawn servant's words at that time still illuminate our way forward.
Ignorance begets a strife. Understanding begets fellowship.
Sorry. It's just to think that he ended an age-old conflict with food. It's all so absurd. It's somehow so very papa, I couldn't help but laugh.
Seems about right.
Ignorance begets strife. Understanding begets fellowship.
Now then, I trust you understand the significance of Shibruk Pibil and the history it has written.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing the story with us. What's wrong?
There's someone watching us.
Someone was there, you say?
I'm sure there is.
Perhaps our competition is cooking up some scheme or another.
Something bitter and half-baked, no doubt.
Lamont? Papa really did live up to his words. He traveled the land and learned about our people's myriad cultures. We're doing the same now. Alright. We are going to take a quick break and we will be back with more. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here are all the links provided. See you in a bit.